Good morning, everybody. This is the news that we are waking up to for Wednesday, March the 5th, 2025, day 1106 of Vladimir Putin's war of aggression against the people of Ukraine. I'm Peter Alexievich, and this is the news we are waking up to. Now, last night's missile and drone attack was a big one. Again, 181 drones. That's the kind of nights we've been seeing here in Ukraine. And of the 181, 170 were taken out, either shot down or taken out with active countermeasures. That's a 93.9% interception rate. God bless the Ukrainian armed forces. Now, we heard yesterday a lot of talk that the U.S. and Ukraine were going to sign the minerals deal before the State of the Union address, which barely mentioned Ukraine at all. He was focused last night in his hate of the Union speech on immigration, transgender issues, all the culture war bullshit, and the great success of his tariff wars, which is insanity of the first order, which we'll talk about in 1 second coming up here. Now it looks like Trump is thinking, oh, well, if Ukraine still wants to sign the minerals deal, then now I can really strong arm them and get everything I want and just rape the country. It's outrageous. That Zelensky is willing to talk to Trump is a testament to the polites, the intelligence, and the maturity of the president of Ukraine in the face of this infantile, dictatorial bullshit, this exploitive, obscene bullshit from the White House. And the worst part of it is that it's not even a deal, right? It's just a framework in which a deal might be structured, which is, I'm sure, is why Zelensky is willing to go along with it. Because if it means that he'll unpause the weapons deliveries, well then, of course, let's sign a deal that says we're going to talk about a deal, and we'll see if we ever get to a deal. The idea that Trump now wants to change the conditions is just another sign that the Trump administration is not in any way serious about an actual ceasefire. They are serious about the capitulation of Ukraine to their masters in the Kremlin. That's what's going on here. For his part, Zelensky is bending over backwards to make it clear to the world that he is grateful to the United States and that he is ready for a ceasefire with some reasonable conditions. He suggested that the first stages would be the release of POWs and a truce in the sky, right? What have we been begging for? A no-fly zone west of the Dnipro. So a ban on missiles, long-range drones, bombs on energy and other civilian infrastructure, and a truce in the sea immediately, which means no more bombing of the Odessa port. These conditions are completely unacceptable to Moscow. These simple conditions are not going to be acceptable to Moscow. And you'll notice we've had no word from Moscow on whether or not these conditions could be part of a framework for a ceasefire. Nothing. It is not Zelensky that is holding up peace negotiations. It is the imperialistic ambitions of the Kremlin, convinced that despite the losses, they are winning because they now have they wield the power of Washington, D.C. It's just that simple. And it is heartbreaking to me that the president of Ukraine needs to make these gestures so broadly and so boldly in the face of the outrageous treatment he received at the White House. I was certainly happy to see that King Charles didn't object to his wardrobe when he visited with the king. At any rate, but a bunch of empty suits in Washington did. At any rate, It is unfortunate, though it is meaningful and impressive to watch the president of Ukraine navigate these rocky waters. If I could talk to President Zelensky, though, I would tell him that Donald Trump cannot be trusted, that Donald Trump will stab you in the back every fucking time. And just the fact that he now wants to he thinks he's got to show Zelensky that Zelensky has no cards, that Trump has all the cards. Well, the easiest way to take away that power is to not play his games. I am sorry, UK, France, Ukraine, all of our European allies. But Donald Trump is now firmly in the enemy camp. He can't be trusted. The more he is sidelined, the better it will be for Ukraine and Europe. If Europe can just find the strength to stand up and do this as a united Europe, I think it's all we need. And here's why, or this is one of the big reasons why. Trump's economic policies are disastrous, not simply for North America, but for the world. He will lead us all into a global recession. Already, the stock market under Donald Trump in just 6 weeks has lost nearly $4 trillion in value. The overall market has dropped 5.9% from its recent peak. We're on our way to a serious correction. Nvidia has lost $800 billion in market capitalization. The Trump tariffs on China resulted directly in a rare earths export ban from China to the United States, and they're the only source of gallium, gadolinium, antimony, etc., graphite. Tesla. Now, this I think is more personal, but Tesla's also plunged 40% from its all-time high. Not only is there outrage at Musk and Musk's behavior and Musk's obvious undermining of democracy in the world, but there's a real concern about the rare earths minerals that he needs to make his cars. You can't make a Tesla without neodymium. You can't make a Tesla without lithium. You can't make a Tesla without praseodymium. Those are all here in Ukraine. Trump wants them. Musk wants them. Without them, he's out of business. And even with them, there isn't enough neodymium on the planet to make a Tesla for every American, let alone everybody in the world. So this question of rare earths is a real question. Stocks and Bitcoin are in free fall. This is all according to Bloomberg, right? So apparently the tariffs on Canada and Mexico are already over because our neighbors called the bluff and immediately put tariffs on their products to the U.S., raising electricity costs in 5 U.S. states by 25% overnight. So Trump is being forced to back down. If Zelensky sticks to his guns and does not permit a single change to that agreement that doesn't benefit Ukraine, I think he'll be okay. It'll be okay, and maybe we'll see weapons deliveries resume. Though I wouldn't count on it. I would not count on it. We can't count on this fucking guy. This guy says, America, you come and take our rare earth. No problem, right? We do business with you. After they just stole $100 million from Google. And this is pennies compared to what they did to Uniper, seizing 7 thermal power plants across Russia, several $1 billion worth of infrastructure. What they did to Jarlsberg beer, forcing them to sell the entire company assets in Russia to a Russian oligarch for €1. These guys have seized nearly $1 trillion, nationalized $1 trillion in U.S. capital investments and European capital investments inside of Russia since the start of the war in order to keep the oligarchs from going broke. And now you want to partner with us to develop your mining industry? And the worst part is there are fools who think they'll get away with it, that Russia isn't just going to steal everything from them. Idiots, useful idiots to the Kremlin. This is our enemy. This is the man who has single-handedly been undermining Western civilization for the last 25 years, and we just keep talking to him like he's a partner. He isn't, and neither is Donald Trump. They are cut from the same cloth, gangsters both. Now, Ukraine, of course, continues to innovate, as it always does. The Wild Hornets Group have unveiled Ukraine's fastest combat drone, the Paravertin. I don't know what that means. Max speed, 200 kilometers an hour. What it's designed to do, it's an interceptor drone. And so what it's designed to do is to spot other drones and then slam into them, or use another weapon to disable them in the sky and still get other use out of them. So they can be reused. Max altitude up to 5 kilometers, climb rate 23 seconds per kilometer. Wow. Right? So Ukraine continues to innovate while the Russians are packing their shit on donkeys. It's not even a joke. That's the world we're living in. And the United States is siding with the donkey brigade. Anyway, guys, that's the top line for today. I might do a special live later tonight, probably around 1 or 2 o'clock Eastern time. Tonight is the first In Conversation with English Speaking Group meeting, and maybe we'll go live and real Ukrainians can respond to American questions for people who have questions about Ukraine. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens tonight, but I'm thinking that maybe I'll do that. All right. That's it for me. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you in the live tonight. Take care.